Okay, in this video we're going to go over how to translate English into math, but specifically about perimeters. Now this particular problem has a rectangle in it. Remember, perimeter, by the way, is the distance around a figure. And you can have the distance around a rectangle, a square, a circle, things that are curved, things that are straight edge, doesn't make any difference. It's a little bit easier with these. So let's look at this one. So it says the sides of a rectangle are given as follows. The lengths of the rectangle are 5 inches longer than 3 times the width. If the entire perimeter, all the distance around, is 50 inches, find the dimensions of both the length and the width of the rectangle. Okay, so let's break this down logically. Okay, so first of all, we know what a rectangle looks like. Something like this, where the two lengths usually tend to be longer than the two widths. Okay, so we can figure out that the perimeter is, we'll call this a length, we'll call this a length, we'll call that a width, we'll call that a width. We could say that 2 times W plus 2 times L, in this particular case, is 50 inches, right? Now here's our issue. The issue is that we have two different variables. So we could figure out one of the variables, we should be okay. And then we can just solve for whatever that variable is, then plug it in and find the other one. So what do we know so far? We know that the length of the rectangle is 5 inches longer than 3 times the width, right? So we can say that the length is 5 inches longer. Now I'm going to do this, plus 5 over here. So 5 inches longer than 3 times the width. Okay? So the length is 3W plus 5. Now, why is that helpful? It's helpful because wherever I see an L, right, I can plug in 3W plus 5. So watch. I can just put it right there. And I can rewrite this equation now. Instead of, I'll just call that my first set of equations. My second set of equations now is with the rewritten substitution. This is actually called a substitution, right? And most of the time with these kinds of problems, you can substitute. Substitute. So I'm going to say 2W plus 2 times 3W plus 5 is equal to 50. Now let's just go ahead and solve this and see what we can come up with, okay? We know that 2W, distribute this, that gives me 6W plus 10 is equal to 50. That's my third step. 1, 2, 3, too many thoughts there. There's 4. This gives me 8W's, gather by like terms. Let's subtract the 10. That gives me 40. Let's divide by 8, and that gives me W is equal to 5. So now I know that my W, my width, is 5. So let's go ahead and do that. If my W is 5, let's go back up to the original equation, and let's find the width, or find the length rather. So I would say length is equal to 3 times, we just said that that was 5, so let's substitute 5 into the W, plus 5 again, and that gives me length is equal to 15 plus 5, or 20. And let's go ahead and substitute that back into here. And sure enough, if we add these, 20 plus 20 is 40, 45, 50. Okay, so what's the trick here? Really, there's not too many tricks. The most thing to learn is that it's always draw your shape, okay? You always translate what you do know from the equations here, and it usually will be some kind of a substitution where one of these will go into the other variable, and you'll end up with just one variable, all right? And once you solve that, resubstitute, and you'll get the other variable that you're missing. Okay, hope that was helpful.